when was your first interaction with reptiles, or what got you hooked? What got you in love with this? And what age did it all start?
Well, actually, when I was a real little kid, I kind of, first of all, we'll start from the beginning. I was actually adopted. And then when my adopted mom and dad were older, but they were wealthy apparently. But
apparently,
well, they were wealthy apparently because it was hard for somebody that age to get adoption.
Yeah.
And it all looked great, but then just after they got me a year or two later, apparently the bankruptcy, all kinds of problems. So I never seen the money end of it. I saw the tough part. My mom actually passed away when I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
She had to go back to work. She was a nurse, and that left me with a single dad. And that was kind of rough because we were pretty poor, but which led me to basically, amazingly enough, that's how I ended up here. So I was very typical young kid, wanted to do a million things, but we couldn't afford bicycles and all the fun stuff of life. So I found these things called lizards and frogs and all the different things in the wild that I could, back then, Orange County actually had land. Yeah. There was orange groves and fields and boards on where you could flip up and find lizards and snakes. And there's still irrigation ditches. I wasn't even then, they were illegal to go into, but I would go in the middle of the night and climb fences, and my dad would let me go down there and chase frogs all night. And then what would end up happening, well, I wouldn't want to go to school. I sucked at school anyway. And so, it's kind of funny, but it's just kind of like how I ended up falling in love with animals in general. They were my go-to thing. Everybody had the dog that they cried on when they were a little kid, right? Yeah. When they didn't understand mom or dad. Well, I had lizards and frogs, and I traded them. I went to the pet store back then. There was really no rules. So I would catch frogs and lizards and take them in, and they would give me some frog or lizard from another country, and when I ended up completely getting orphaned at 14. My dad drank himself to death, and it's a long story, but it's a tragedy, but sometimes I look back now and I just think I'm happy. I wouldn't want to change anything because I kind of became who I was and who I am, and my ability to not give up, because I wouldn't be even here where I was if I had an easy childhood, just because I don't think I would have been able to learn how to persevere through the tough things in life.
We were just talking about that the other day. I was talking to somebody, so I apologize for cutting off. I was talking to somebody on a podcast, and it's an incredible artist. And he was actually, and the more I listened to him, the more I realized that his childhood, those tough moments, were the only reason that brought his inspiration, his artistic ability really to another level. So it's crazy you're saying that, which is, you hear a lot of artists, a lot of people at our high level, that trigger point or something in their beginning really kind of drove them into getting to where they are. So I love that.
I went to a juvenile hall and I told them, I hope one day that this moment, you here in juvenile hall, will be like my worst times in my life that I look back towards as what made me who I am today. I said, don't waste this tough time. And I'm sure, I remember somebody telling me something like that, thinking, this guy's on drugs. But you know what? He was 100% right. Yeah. And the toughest parts of your life can be your pinnacles of where you actually receive the understanding how to get through things that get you to places you could never get. It's like the missing code.